The Pacers, they done made back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. And man, hey, this just shows that the Indiana Pacers, what they did last year, won the fluke. They came back with a mentality and a mindset that we're going to show everybody what we did last year, won the fluke. And we're going to come back harder, come back with fuel to the fire, with a chip on our shoulder. And they right back in the Eastern Conference Finals. Back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. First time they did that in franchise history since 2012, 2013, when Paul George was on the team. Now, what I want to say is that Tyrese Haliburton, he played good today. I'm not going to get on Tyrese Haliburton too much because he had a good game. This was his best playoff performance. When I was asking y'all previous videos, episodes, I was asking y'all, can y'all name a signature Tyrese Haliburton playoff performance? And tonight, he gave me one. But with that being said, I was on TikTok and I just seen posts and people saying they was arguing, debating whether Tyrese Haliburton is better than Paul George was as an Indiana Pacer. And I'm going to say hell no. And it's not because I'm a Tyrese Haliburton hater. But the thing is, y'all forget that who Paul George was for the Indiana Pacers. He made 2 all-defensive teams. He done made 2 All-NBAs. He done made 4 All-Star appearances. He was top 10 MVP voting when he was with the Indiana Pacers. He done went to the conference finals. He done accomplished everything that Tyrese Haliburton did and some when he had on the Indiana Pacers uniform. So we can't forget about that. So before y'all try to say that he's the best Pacer in Pacers history, slow down. He got to get to that finals. You got to get to a championship. You got to win a championship. Well, even if you get to a finals appearance, that'd be more than what Paul George did. But even like the Reggie Millers and the things like that, we can't disrespect the people that came before him just because he having a good season or he having a good year and things like that. You got to look at the team that he got too. The Indiana Pacers, they a team where they got 10 guys on the court. I mean, they got 10 guys on their roster that can beat somebody off the dribble, who can all defend, who can all shoot, who all can create and play make for each other. They can get 2 feet in the paint, and they a hard-nosed team. They a physical team. They competitive. That's a true team over there. You know, they got guys that can make tough shots. They got multiple guys over there that can give them 14 to 18 points on a nightly basis. Like I said, they didn't got Nembhard. They got Nesmith. They got Pascal. They got Miles Turner. They got Tyrese Haliburton. They got Obi Toppin. T.J. McConnell can come off the bench and get them some excellent minutes off the bench and excellent production off the bench. You know what I'm saying? There's legit 8 to 9 deep when we talk about the Indiana Pacers. So before we even get to talking about the best Pacer of all time, and what a lot of people like, they get blinded by Tyrese Haliburton highs that they tend to forget the lows. Like Tyrese Haliburton he's not consistent enough yet. He's up and down. You know, you might get a good game here, but you might get a subpar game there. You know what I'm saying? So you never know with Tyrese Haliburton. I still need to see a certain level of consistency from Tyrese Haliburton before I can put him in certain conversations. Now, yes, he's a hell of a player, a good point guard, a good table setter, a good floor general. All those things can be true, but in the same breath, he's not one of those elites. He's not the face of, he is the face of the franchise, but he's not. When you look at the all-time Pacers, you look at a Reggie Miller, you look at a Paul George and what he did in his stint, going toe-to-toe with LeBron James in his prime. I don't think y'all understand that or fathom that. Paul George, when he was a pup in the league, he was 2-3 years in the league going up against prime LeBron James in the Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. I'm talking about LeBron at his apex. When LeBron was like 26, 25 at his absolute peak. A lot of people like to say that Miami Heat Bron was the best Bron of all time. I can bet to differ. I think 2018 the best Bron I've seen. He had the post game, still athletic, still fast, still had high level IQ. But he had the jump shot and he had the post game. He had a full offensive arsenal, with him. But when he was with the Miami Heat, he was just so athletically gifted, and he was just so much more of a freak of nature than everybody else on the court. So that's what made him so dominant. And Paul George was going toe to toe with that. Like I said, Tyrese Halliburton only been to 2 All-Star games. You know, he only made NBA first. He only made a 1 All NBA team. Paul George made 3 of them. He done made 4 All-Star games. He'd have been All Defensive Player. First team, he'd have been first team All Defensive Player 1 year, and he was third team All Defensive Player another year. He'd have been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals with the Indiana Pacers. So he done put his time and work in. So we got to slow down on that. But nonetheless, this is not about Tyrese Halliburton. This is about the Indiana Pacers and what they did to Cleveland Cavaliers. They completely dismantled them. They showed that they was clearly the better team. Beat them in 5 games. They won 3 games on their home floor, on the Cleveland Cavaliers home floor. It's tough to beat the Indiana Pacers, because like I said, once you can get 10 guys who can give you, and they can get you double figures on a nightly basis, you know, who defends as well as they do. They all on one string. They play physical, and you got guys that can, you know, knock down and hit tough shots. And you don't just got specialists out there who can just shoot threes, or who just a defender. No, they got guys who can put the ball on the floor, who can attack closeouts, who can put pressure on the rim, who can get 2 feet in the paint and collapse the defense and kick out to open shooters. You know, that's what makes the Indiana Pacers so hard to defend, because they play with good pace. They like to get out in the transition. They play fast, but they play fast controlled, if you understand what I'm saying. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, man, hey, I told y'all, this not the year for the Cleveland Cavaliers to get it done. After the regular season that they had, one of the best they was on a historic pace this season. If this not the year for them to get it done, I don't think they will ever be able to get over that hump. Now, I'm not going to talk about what they need to do to improve in the offseason, because I'm going to leave that to when the playoffs is over. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so whenever these videos do come out with what every team needs to do in the offseason, y'all be able to watch that. But this is a bad way to go out, because y'all went out without a fight. Y'all really laid down. Y'all quit. Darius Garland, he went out there even though he wasn't healthy. It looked like he wasn't healthy. I don't know what the hell type of toe injury that man had, where he had to miss that much time. That man, he played 2 games in the first round. He missed the first 2 games of this round. That man had like a 2-week span of what type of toe injury that dude got, bro. Is it broke? Is it fractured? Like, let me know something. I never seen a toe injury take that long to heal, man. He got gout. Like, let me know. Evan Mobley, he missed some time in this series, but he played well tonight. Donovan Mitchell, something was wrong going up with his ankle, but he was still, gutting through it and giving you what he was giving you. The first 3 games of the series, he was averaging 41 and 7. That's all you can ask for from your superstar player, your best player on your team. But obviously, you can't win a playoff series with just one player when you're going up against a team like the Indiana Pacers. When you're going up against a good team like the Indiana Pacers, a good defensive team like the Pacers, a well-coached team as well, a well-oiled machine, you're going to need guys to be able to step in, and you just didn't get enough contribution from everybody else. Ty Jerome had a hard time in this series, all series long. He got it somewhat going, try to help them provide a spark in Game 5 tonight. But ultimately, it wasn't enough. Jared Allen, he wasn't just good enough. He was solid. Evan Mobley played well tonight. But throughout this whole series, Donovan Mitchell was really out there on his own. It was a one-man show for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And like I said, if you want to beat a high-level team in the playoffs, it's going to take more than one guy. Because obviously, it's only so much that one guy can do. Because at one time, you can't score all the points. You ain't going to make everything. You can't defend everybody. You can't rebound. You can't do everything. So sometimes it's just all about, obviously it's about the team, but Donovan Mitchell, I feel like he held up his end of the bargain. Even though with a bad ankle, he gave you 33 points tonight. If we get a little bit more from Max Strus, who was a no-show tonight, if we get a little bit more something from Jared Allen, if we get a little bit more from Darius Garland if he was healthy, maybe this series would have looked a little bit different. But we can't play the what-if game. all we can go off and based off of what we know is that the Cleveland Cavaliers, they is steady, constantly falling short after a good, terrific season when, we all said we can't really take too much of what the Cleveland Cavaliers did in the regular season. Yes, they was on the historic pace. Yes, they was one of the better offensive teams. Yes, they was one of the better defensive teams. And that's why Evan Mobley had one Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, they had one of the better net ratings in the NBA this year. But the thing is all they're going to be able to translate to the NBA, to the NBA playoffs and ultimately get your team to the Eastern Conference Finals, which that's somewhere that Donovan Mitchell have not been able to reach in all his years of being in the NBA. And that's crazy because if we look at it, Donovan Mitchell is like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid in all his years of being in Philly, he never made it past the second round. Donovan Mitchell never made it past the second round in all his years in the league. They played, but the thing about Donovan Mitchell, he played at a higher level than Joel Embiid do. Joel Embiid, once you get, he's kind of like James Harden. You get to those game 6 to game 7s, them legs get a little shaky. You don't know what you're going to get from Joel Embiid. One thing I know about Donovan Mitchell, he's going to go out swinging every time. Sometimes the better team can always win when you playing a best of four at a game 7 series. The better team gonna always show who's the better team because you have to win 4 times. This ain't no one and done. So that just goes to show you. But that's just crazy to me. Donovan Mitchell haven't been past the second round, and I don't know he been in the league 9-10 years now. Been in the playoffs 8 times. Ain't been to the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, even when he was with the Utah Jazz when they had the number 1 seeds. And it's crazy because Donovan Mitchell didn't have the number 1 seed 3 times and still got eliminated in the second round. Where he got beat by the Denver Nuggets in the 2020 bubble. They got beat by cause they beat OKC that one year. They was number 1 seed, but they played another team. They lost in the second round. It's like, I don't know. He just can't get over that hump, and I don't know what it is and what it's gonna take, but Cleveland Cavaliers, man, you got a long off season ahead of you, cause you definitely need more. Cause even if you was healthy, with Darius Garland being fully healthy, with Evan Mobley not missing time, I don't think that y'all still had enough to be able to pull out this series. I think it would have been more of a competitive series, a competitive ball game. I think it probably would have went to 6 or 7 games, but I still would have favored the Pacers. Cause the Pacers, they showed you who they is. They showed you that they played they a high octane offense. They got 10 guys who gonna contribute on a night in, night out basis. It ain't no questions over there with the Indiana Pacers. Even if Tyrese Halliburton don't show up, Pascal might give you 25, 30. Miles Turner gonna give you 18. Nembhard gonna give you about 15 to 18 points. Or vice versa. You got multiple guys gonna be able to take on that load if they main guy don't have it going. Can't say the same thing about Cleveland, or I couldn't say the same thing about Cleveland, but that's how I feel about this series. Indiana, congrats to the Pacers fans out there. Y'all hit that comment section below. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about y'all making y'all second Eastern Conference Finals in back-to-back years. They got a bright future right now, and how it's looking, man. We might get a Pacers OKC Thunder Finals, which it sound bad on paper, but it's actually, I think that would be an interesting finals. Cause the OKC Thunder, they got 5 to 7 guys who can put the ball on the floor, attack closeouts. They defend at a high level. They kind of mirror what the Indiana Pacers play like. I think the Pacers play with a little more faster tempo. 2 young teams, 2 teams they can compete on the defensive side of the ball. Get after on the defensive side, and they got guys who gonna be able to attack the paint, put 2 feet in them, put a pressure on the rim and things like that, etc. But yeah, man, y'all let me know, and make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna see y'all in the Eastern Conference Finals. To all my Pacers fans.